Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of The Flank. I'm joined by the executive producer, Mr. Ben Nassim. We got Christopher Duarte, a.k.a. Parasite. And, of course, we got the legend, Patrick Price, a.k.a. Aches, in the building. Gentlemen, how you guys all doing, man? Long day of COD, 5 matches, a lot of twists and turns, like Ben said.
Yeah.
Man, what's going on, Ben? Talk to me.
I don't think anyone would have predicted this grand final. We had pretty much the big three organizations go down in different ways the last couple of days. Today, obviously, Optic and FaZe fall, and we'll get to those series in a bit. But congrats to Toronto and New York, your grand finalists. Both teams peaking at the right time this year. Both teams strong in all game modes. And, yeah, let's dive in. But obviously, Chris and
Chris,
Pat.
how are you, Bell? Talk to me.
The day was long, but there's a
man.
lot of, super close, gritty games. Like, a lot of stuff came down to the smallest little things, and I think this is a long tournament, man. People have been grinding all year, and I think the teams were really close in terms of who could actually make it to the grand finals and win. And yeah, we got a lot of entertaining series today.
Yeah, 100%. Pat, how you doing, man? Pat,
it's a great day for me.
It's
Tom.
a great day for you,
I
Pat.
got my predicted winners sitting in grand finals after a flawless winter final. By the way, I don't know if you guys watched.
Yeah,
that
we'll
series,
go over
but
it. It was nuts. Flawless for sure.
So I'm feeling great. I think Toronto Ultra going to take it home.
Yeah, Pat's cheesing right now. He's cheesing.
Yeah,
he's feeling nice.
It,
Let's get into the first matchup of the day. We had the Seattle Surge going up against Optic Texas, and Seattle Surge were able to come out on top in this series and knock out Optic Texas. What did they end up placing? Top six?
Top 6.
Optic Texas go home with a top 6 placing. Seattle Surge, they were unable to beat anybody on land all year except for LAG. And then they come to this event. They take down Thieves and they take down Optic today and knock them out. I mean, I'll start things off. I thought Mac was an absolute difference maker today. I thought he played incredible. I think it was really cool to see Mac just come out of his element. I think he might have raised his stock a little bit this weekend. And I don't know what you guys think about it, but when Mac comes out and is able to make plays and be that impactful like that, and it's going to do tenfold for these guys.
I think what Mac has done now is kind of present an interesting situation in Seattle, which is if you bring in a sub player who can play by the book and make Mac the featured Slayer, where I think he's in a more comfortable role, I think he can shine. I think you've talked about that a bunch.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I felt like Mac throughout the year. He was just, you have Pred, who's kind of like a roaming Slayer, right? He's going to get kills. Same with Dante, right? He's a flex, big kill guy. Lamar's kind of more that fundamental discipline guy. I feel like Mac kind of got slotted into that dirty work, getting hills, taking long routes, just kind of doing the bitch work, the objective work.
That's what we call it, yeah.
Which I feel like he lost his way in terms of confidence and how he plays around the map, just the impact that he actually can be. I feel like sometimes he was in his own head and he was overthinking it and just trying to do too much and trying to do all that bitch work. This weekend, it just seemed like he was going back to his normal self where he was just, you know what, let me just forget all that bullshit. Play the game how it's supposed to be played and play with some confidence. And I just like the plays that he was making. He just felt like he got his confidence back. He got his rhythm back. And I don't know what you guys think, but what were you guys' overall thoughts on Seattle Optic in the series as a whole?
Seattle in general, just Mac and Lamar stepped up a lot. Those are the two that you look at that are the ones that have been constantly letting, I think, the Seattle team down. And then you also got the best version of Sib that we've seen in a bit.
Yeah.
Sib was essentially right up there with Pred. These guys were considered, a powerhouse duo. And then Sib fell off the map for a while Pred was the only one really doing anything. But in this series, you get the best of both worlds out of this guys. I mean, we talked about Seattle a little bit, but in terms of Optic, I mean, these guys, obviously they won the first map. They had 2 of their best hard points in this series, and they ended up losing their map pick where they basically lost
the Fortress killed them.
But yeah, the thing about this team is the Fortress killed them, and their S&D has not been as good as it used to be. I feel like they were really good at hardpoint and search before, and control was their only weakness. Now they started to win a little bit more controls, but at the expense of their search and destroy. You can't lose 2 search and destroys to Seattle. On top of that, just looking at the vetoes might have been a troll for Seattle in their hardpoints because you give Optic their 2 best maps.
Yeah.
They ended up winning one of them, but from the Optic perspective, you give Seattle Surge, who isn't the best search team, search players, where they don't make really good heads-up plays, and you put them on 2 maps, they're so straightforward.
Yeah.
You put them on Mercado or Fortress and a Mercado. There's so many limited plays there. You just gave them an opportunity, they capitalized on it.
Well, I definitely think there was some VOD review for Seattle going into the Optic match with the S&Ds. It felt like that they were just reading Optic's plays. They caught Shotzi slipping a couple times too, trying to make those, especially on Mercado, trying to do those lay flanks. I know, Ben, you've talked about those quick pinches. that he likes to do, and Seattle was taking advantage of it. But Pat, what's going on? What are your thoughts, and where do you think the future is for Optic, Pat? You think these guys make a change? I mean, what do you think is going to happen with these guys?
I think they absolutely make a change. I think it's absolutely a change. You know, it's funny because Ghosty probably played the best.
The best on his team.
For this team
he played good.
which hasn't been the case on this Optic team. But for me, I mean, Hook, Shotzi, big letdown, especially compared to their online performances, right? Like 2 flawless stages and then just like disappeared. I don't know. I think Hook's for sure gone, and I think if they can get an upgrade for Ghosty, I think they do that too. The real question is who could they even get to fill that kind of second AR role? But yeah, I think Hook's gone. I don't think there's any question, at least for me. I think they make that change, no brainer.
Yeah.
As far as Seattle go, I actually don't think Mac raised his stock this weekend. I do agree he played a lot better, but this has been the story of Mac and Lamar all year long. They're just so
Up and down.
inconsistent.
The thing with Seattle, though, is they may look at sort of how WrestleMania goes down and be like, would it make more sense for us to keep Mac, role switch him to more of a featured Slayer role, make sure we get a substitute if it doesn't work that we can just quickly pivot into, and give him that trust because he's been here for a couple of years. He's wants to chip. We can try it out. They might think about it.
I mean, they have one.
They might think about it.
They're subs in grand finals of the Challengers event.
Yeah, so.
But either way, I think Pred's gone. 0% chance.
And he's probably going to Optic.
Regardless of where he goes.
These FaZe and Optic all lost this weekend,
regardless
so I don't
of where
know about
he
all
goes,
that.
he's gone, right?
Yeah,
We know where he wants to go.
I think Lamar should be gone, and I would say if you can keep Sib, maybe you do. But Mac, same with Mac. Like maybe you keep Mac depending on who you can get. But I think this Seattle team needs to clear house.
It's interesting that you said you think they're going to get rid of Ghosty because I actually think that Dan's been pretty good. I think he's been an important part of their team.
Yeah.
He just does a lot of stuff. He does a lot of just throwing down trophies, taking routes, big 2 pieces when you need them. He's a very unselfish player, and this weekend he was like their guy in terms of slang too.
I also feel like he started to come into his own, man. I think he's just improved. He's improved every tournament and in terms of his individual performances. And when you go to at least,
I wouldn't say that he got smoked at Major 5.
Well, everyone got smoked in Major 5.
Yeah, but you
I'm
can't
saying
say
I mean that's an anomaly event for their team. Like we know they weren't
Clearly
a top.
not. They're not smoked here too.
I think the other thing for
They
Optic,
got like what, top 6?
They won one series, and it was
Yeah,
Boston.
well,
They got
Seattle
smoked.
was a competitive one.
I think the other thing for Optic too, and this is a minor thing, is like I don't think the Amp played his best at LAN this season.
No.
Outside of maybe one event, I don't think he was terrible. So don't take it the wrong way. I do think going into next season, he needs to reflect on his play style and how we can better suit his play style to be more consistent.
I will say this. I think he needs superstar stripped. He's not a superstar in my opinion.
Shotzi?
Oh, that is so
that's
cap.
crazy.
That's the
You're
most
crazy for
ridiculous.
that.
Not
You're
a
crazy for
superstar.
that.
Nah, that's
Bro,
hated.
trip and slay. You
Bro,
trip and
let's
slay.
be honest. He's not a superstar.
Nah, he's a superstar.
What
bro.
has he done in this year on land to be a superstar? Compare him to the likes of Scrappy, Hydra, Abizi,
He was
Celian.
frying a major
Bro,
three.
He had one major where he
he's
fried
wildly
everything else.
But not that major
inconsistent.
four.
His play style's inconsistent, and he does this at the most important events. No,
The problem is
he's
he
a star.
played.
He's not a superstar.
He played bad at Major 1, better-ish at Major 2, and then not so
Look,
good at the end of the last 2
I'm
events.
with Pat
Like
on this
the
one.
book ending's kind
He
of
can
tough
have as
for
many
him.
fans as he wants and popularity. He's not a superstar player.
He's not Hydra. He's not a BZ.
Period.
He's not.
Gersh, go ahead and clip that on Twitter, and I would love to see the interactions. Thank you.
You can. I'm with them on this one. I think he had.
He's an impact, bro.
He's a hit. I'm not saying he's not. I'm saying you're not comparing him to Hydra. You're not comparing him to a
Nah,
BZ.
no.
I think Kismet is better than Shotzi.
I agree. I fully agree with you.
Let me say this. I can't
Crazy.
compare anybody to Hydra right now. You can't. Who can you
I
compare to
actually-
Hydra
You
right
don't
now?
agree?
fully
You don't
agree
agree
with
that
him.
Kismet is better than Shotzi?
Right now?
At the end of the season, kids is playing better.
Overall,
Full season.
overall,
in
in
Marvel
a
too.
Are we just
season-
forgetting the middle of the season for New York, though, when they were fucking horrific? And
Wait,
Optic
it
was
doesn't
playing
matter. I'm
better?
saying
Bro, when
overall-
was Shotzi crazy? He had one event.
He had one. Yeah,
and he didn't even win.
Shotzi had one event where he was going nuts, and then everything else that he did performance-wise was pretty much online in terms of his abnormalities.
No one's saying he sucks.
No one's saying
he's
he
just not
sucks.
a superstar.
I just think for Ant, it's about individual things, and I think for Optic, this event and last event exposed the weakness in the way that they play COD, bro. They're hyper-aggressive. They play at insane pace. When they're funneling people well, it works. When they're having to break and be involved in mixy situations, they can't handle the mix because I don't think they play those situations as well as others. And Ant finding the right sub duo to manage that, and that might be Pred is going to be really key to bring out, I think, his best
I don't know
qualities.
if that'll change.
Because I still think he's a superstar.
If
I think
anything,
that's a
I think
ridiculous
Pred's still
statement.
going to outshine him.
I think his like play style is just super flashy and he's very impactful. I gas him up all the time. I say he's really good at creating space, but like, dude, he's not.
Bro, a superstar carries your team to events at the hardest moments. Look at what Hydra's done.
Hey,
Look at what Scrappy
done.
done.
Thank you so much for all your help today. I appreciate it.
But
Thank you.
Ant's, in my opinion, not a superstar. He's the face of the team, no doubt.
I
Not
also
a
think
superstar.
like you would get the best versions out of Ant whenever like Hook was also playing well, and if Hook most of the time has not been playing pretty well,
Tyler
for his
was
team, so he's
actually-
also struggled a lot in that aspect because he just doesn't
I'll
have
be
someone
honest,
to bounce off of.
Collar stats on land this year were really rough.
He was
I mean,
horrible.
of
He,
course,
he was
yeah.
negative in a large majority of maps. He really, again, more so than Ant, I think he really struggled to take the 1-1-2s dropping online.
Do you think
and put him on
Shotzi
land.
has superstar potential at least?
Yes.
Sure,
Yeah,
but I mean, like, I also
He's
think
already a
it's-
superstar.
I also
We're just
think
saying-
it's-
we're
I also
just
think it's-
saying-
I
we're
also
just
think
saying
game
it-
dependent. It's also game dependent.
It's, yeah,
this
but
game's
that's
very
but that's what we're
punishing.
saying. We're not saying he's bad. We're saying in this
No,
game
I know,
he is
I
not
get
at the
what you're saying. I
level
get what you're
of
saying.
Hydra, Abizi, Kismet. Like
He's not comparable to the other
No,
superstars.
yeah, even like Scrappy.
And I hope
like,
you
all
watch
the-
this video and that when you win an event next year, you call it Pat. I think that'd be
What
fucking
would next year
hilarious.
have
When's
to
an
do with
event? What does that have to
anything?
do with anything? We're talking about this year.
I'm saying right now in Modern Warfare 2, Ant was not a superstar. Period.
All right,
Next
let's move
series.
on.
Let's move on to the next one, ladies
Now
and
we got
gentlemen.
some superstars in this one.
We got the Boston Breeds going up against Atlanta FaZe. Let's take a look. It was a 3-1 victory for Atlanta FaZe over Boston. Take a look at the stats, man. Boston got shit on. They got pooped on. I just felt like Boston couldn't hang with FaZe, to be
Bro,
honest.
I'm
They
not
couldn't
gonna-
hang with them.
control
I gotta
though.
say this, bro. It's pathetic that Snoopy came in and was like the best player on this team.
Yeah,
It's pathetic.
he just got thrown into the dumpster fire.
and was literally the best player on the team.
Yeah.
I think for Boston,
They have to change they need to blow this team up now,
Yeah.
bro.
so
They need to
Boston's
blow
got
it
some
up.
interesting decisions to make. You're going to keep Snoopy. I think you clearly watch him play like
Best
he's
player on
good.
the team.
I don't think that Kremp staying is like a certainty with this team. I don't think Ben staying is certainty with this team. And they got to keep Big Wake, but they got to figure out how to get the best version of Big Wake we saw him on our
Main
first team.
AR. Put him on a
Pressure's-
main AR.
There's
It's
just-
all he knows
Pressure
how
is
to
on
do.
for Big Wake
Listen,
next
bro,
year.
listen, bro,
We're giving
there-
him the benefit of the doubt, but he's got to start figuring it out.
There are just teams that have a culture, and there are players and people out there that can have a culture with teams. I don't feel like these guys hang out with each other ever outside of tournaments, like or practice sessions. I'm sorry if you're not like good friends with your teammates outside of the game, unless you're quite frankly the best players in the world playing together, you're not going to be good. These guys
I
have
don't agree with that
this
take.
team has zero culture, bro. You need to form
I
bonds.
don't know if
with
that's true because they
Bro,
play.
they have zero. No.
They sit in a facility all the time, and the Nero and Reese stuff is
They have
not
zero
how
culture.
this
They
year.
have zero culture. You can just tell when they play, their personality wise, like it just doesn't look like they're.
This team,
They just look uncomfortable on
this
stage
team needs
all the
experience,
time.
Chris. Like again, we look at this
agree
team
with you,
compared to
Chris.
FaZe. There are 6 COD Champs rings on the FaZe side. I don't know how many wins are on the FaZe side of Pro Lands. It's a lot. On Boston, I mean, I guess we count. Do we count a couple of big weights online wins? I don't know.
Bro,
but the
they
rest of them
three
are
rookies.
listen,
They got 3
The,
rookies.
Yeah.
the coaches on that team, like Dens, Josh,
Dens isn't a coach.
Zed, all those guys. Well,
GM.
coaches, GMs.
Oh.
The upper staff has a better culture than the players.
But that's why they need them. Losing Zin was a huge loss this year. I think that experience hurt them. They got to replace that with someone. There's a great spot for someone like Clay to go to and teach this team how to win. And more importantly, like Big Wake, I think is the player under a lot of pressure on this team next year to step up, or he's just gonna be one of those players that just like never progress to the next level.
Doug, who's literally not even on the pro team, has a better cultural relationship with one of their pro players than any of the pro players have with each other, and you will not tell me otherwise. This team has zero culture. They're not good enough.
Are you saying that
They're
because
not-
Nero's your friend, though? Are you saying that because
Huh?
you saying that because you're hearing stuff from Nero? Like, what's the deal here?
It's nothing to do
Well,
with
why-
Nero.
why
I
you-
can-
how are you claiming
can
they have no
just-
culture?
Because you can just tell, like, even before, like, there's just people on their team that, like, just, like, whenever, like, practice is done, they're hanging out with other people, they're talking with other people. They don't, like, sit there and do shit together or, like, play
That doesn't
together.
matter, bro.
It does
I think
matter.
you kind of get. I think, bro. The
whatever.
problem.
Yeah, don't
Chris,
believe me.
The problem. I kind of hear what you're saying. The problem is this team is young. They don't know how to always play for the W. They don't have people on their team that have won events playing for the W. They have a huge knowledge and experience gap from every other top team in the league.
Bruh.
And until they bridge that, it's going to be a difficult ride.
They're filthy kill whores. They don't have the right play styles that mesh with
They
each
don't have
other.
a glue, bro.
They don't. They have 2 to 3. I see Kremp as like a roaming flex AR, but I don't even see him
I don't
as
think he's
like,
gonna be on this roster next year. I
Bro,
think
I'm gonna
he
keep
might
it.
be
I'm
their
gonna
sub.
keep it super
He
simple.
got fried versus
They
most of the
keep
top teams.
Snoopy
Yeah.
and they squad wipe everybody in replay.
You can't drop, dude. You drop Big Wake and he's gonna go like.
Who cares? See
The
ya.
fucking Thieves is gonna pick him up, making the best
No
player in the
one
world.
is picking up, dude. No, Dee's just not picking up big.
they
Wake.
need to figure out who to support Snoopy with, and they need to find another sub to support with Snoopy. And bro, they had Nero, they had Vivid. I mean, they had sub players on their team that I didn't think were that bad. And then they got to figure out the flex role. But they have 2 ARs. Kremp is kind of, I look at Kremp as kind of like, he has a very twitchy like play style, like kill horde play style. Like bro, let's be honest. Boston had no idea how to play
Well,
COD.
Clay
They
Waldroy-
single pushed every map. S&D hard
No,
point
they're
control.
they're single push kings.
They don't even work together.
Listen,
Ever.
Clay will enjoy running that team next season. Let's move on.
Clayster, maybe going to the Boston Breach. You heard it here first, folks. Let's move on
I
to the
don't know
next
if
one.
that'll solve, but good luck.
We got the New York Subliners going up against Toronto Ultra. This was the winners final, so this is how Toronto Ultra got into the grand final. Bro, I don't know what the fuck happened in New York in this series. They looked like they didn't even show up. Even Scrappy said in the interview, I mean, what the fuck was even
He
that?
killed Hydra. He shit talked him afterwards.
Bro,
Yeah, they got fried.
Well, they got shut
all
down.
of them got shit on. Like
They got
comparatively.
fried.
They got shut down. I mean, I don't think there's really much to talk about it from that
There's
perspective.
one thing.
Obviously, New York came back and played.
Kleenex.
Yeah, New York came back and played really well in their next series.
Look at
but
this.
I mean, it's the first series of the day for these guys. Sometimes like you're gonna have those series where somebody gets washed.
But tomorrow is going to be the first
a-
series of the day for both of
yeah,
them.
but it's a long series. You know what I mean?
It's a long
and
series.
It's a little bit different.
It is
Obviously, just
different.
being in the grand final.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Toronto took over. This wasn't even close. First map, maybe a little bit competitive. Hydra was doing his best to put the team on his back, but then after that, he kind of just fell off the map. Kleenex, who I've been saying, he needs to be if he wants to win this grand final or this tournament, he needs to be the sub to match players like Hydra and Abizi. And we've seen him do it in other games. We've seen at times when they were having that ridiculous performance, I think it was Major 2 or something like that, where he was playing really well for this team. That's when they look like the best version of themselves. And when he does this,
Yeah.
like what
agreed.
are you supposed to do?
1.23 from Kleenex, 1.29 from Scrappy. Scrappy's been incredible too, bro. I mean,
Yeah.
Rookie of the Year
Bro.
on top of his first champs, making it to a grand final.
And Hixie, bro.
And then you
And
have a good
Hickson.
backbone.
All of them.
I
All of them have
I
been playing
actually
great.
don't think Kleenex is their X factor. I think it's Hixie. For me, it's like, dude, as long as Hixie doesn't get shit on, this team finds success. Like the rest of those guys are really consistent. Insight, I mean, granted he has super low engagements.
He does his job.
He does his job.
Yeah.
Scrappy and Kleenex, for the most part, are gonna do their job, if not overperform.
Kleenex
Yeah.
has not been playing very well.
But you're looking at KD. Kleenex always has high damage, high engagements, and for this team, that's all he has to do. Hixie is a factor in terms of just not getting shit on. When Hixie's getting like those clutch 2 pieces in hill or hitting a good route,
They're godlike.
it's
Yeah.
a different team, bro.
Yeah. But he's been low key, like
Yeah, the
stepping
last-
up.
the last,
He's
like,
been
yeah,
stepping
He's
up.
like
for them.
Dan. He's gotten better.
Yeah, he's
They
gotten
just-
a lot
people just
better.
get better. They get way more.
But the
reps of their team
NYSL we got in
comfortable.
this team, this series was just like I don't
Yeah,
even
they
know if were the
collapsed.
same
They
team.
collapsed. They didn't
Yeah,
seem
yeah.
like themselves. I know Caesar was talking about on stage. I don't even know what happened to them today. They're gonna have to go back and watch this VOD, bro, and figure out what the hell happened because they're gonna play. They got a rematch tomorrow in the grand final, which we'll obviously get to because we had this series right here. We had Atlanta FaZe going up against Seattle Surge. Atlanta was able to take down Seattle 3-1. You can see here in the stat sheet. It wasn't even close. I mean, Seattle just got absolutely blended in the slaying
Scroll down.
department.
Show them that. Nah, don't say it's not close.
I'm saying in the slaying department, it's not even close. That's what I just
maps
said.
are pretty close.
I mean, yeah, they're close maps. They were a good
Yeah.
series. I mean, it was a good series for sure. But it went to a fourth map. Obviously, FaZe, they were able to take down Seattle in the control, which I think was really big for them. I was a little worried when they lost to Search and Destroy because they go into the control, and FaZe has just been so ass at control. Their control has just not been good.
They've lost 3. They lost to Asilos prior to this series.
Even their S&D has been inconsistent. Like why did they flip the switch to become gross at hardpoint? Like
It's
Yeah.
just hard. It's hard to be good at like everything, dude, because you put so much effort into one thing that something lags behind. But on top of that, people just get better at like certain game modes. It is what it is.
Yeah, and you can see Atlanta FaZe here. They were able to take the control 3-0, which was pretty
Yes.
comfortable for them. What is this? What are you doing?
No, I mean, I think the biggest thing for FaZe, and when I was trying to look at the map results, is like I don't think Abizi's impact was super amazing today in the search, and I think that always kind of hurts him in S&D. You know, when he's getting first bloods, it's easy. When not, they got to grind stuff out and kind of rely on some clutches. My other thought on this series is like I thought Seattle kind of battled well, and I thought they had a real chance to force it to Game 5, and they kind of broke down in the second rotation on that Embassy hard point. Like I thought they had a real opportunity to pull up a fat lead, and then FaZe just kind of took over.
The Fortress they choked. I think FaZe.
Well, they choked hard in the Fortress too.
FaZe started up really high, and then Seattle ended up getting an opportunity to basically like close out the game, and then they just let one like I think Slasher like popped the 2-piece hitting the front side of like the P2, and then eventually just broke it for him.
Slasher's been playing good, bro. He's been doing his thing. He's been stepping up. I think he's definitely made a name for himself with these guys. I know a lot of people were on his ass, especially early on in the year, but he's definitely stepped up throughout the year, and he ended the year strong too with these guys. So
I want to tip though Seattle. I will say this about Seattle: we've been really hard on them. I know Pat, you in particular, have been hard on them for a while. I think it's typical they got tough for this event. Like I think battling through, I thought they were dead after day one, and like obviously they're not going to win, but.
It's typical.
They beat Thieves and Optic.
It's typical, but
that's pretty respectable.
Both game 5s, right?
Yeah, I mean they grind us out.
I mean they won hella searches, bro. I mean that's like.
Yeah, but you dub's a dub, Pat. Like,
sure,
we discredit those dubs.
That doesn't mean this team should stick together. That team.
No, 100% they should stick together. I'm just tipping the run. I'm just tipping the run, bro.
Yeah, you got to tip the run. I mean,
bro,
the
reason it's hard for me to tip that run is that team is a roller coaster.
Bro.
Oh,
it is.
Like, how can I tip them going back up on the roller coaster?
Because they look like they were getting 8th on Thursday.
But that's
and
how
they
roller
to get
coasters
4th.
work, bro. You're at the bottom of the bottom, and then you come up.
We give respect where there's respect to be given,
like,
bro.
let's say this was Major 5, and we go to Major 6 after this. Like, they would
Major 6
go
is
right
making
back
up
down.
events.
You all I just found interesting about their tournament run is they stopped vetoing their auto veto in every series, and they started playing it. They didn't win any Mercado hard points, but they left it in series. But they were winning Mercado Search and Destroys, which at one point was basically an auto veto for these guys, and they ended up clutching up. I'm pretty sure they eliminated Optic on Mercado S&D. Did they eliminate Thieves on Mercado S&D too?
They might have. They might have eliminated on Mercado S&D.
I don't remember what it was. Actually,
I'm not sure. I don't remember.
No, I think that
long
was
weekend. A lot of games.
I think they limited him on for like a Fortress or something. I don't think they played.
It was Fortress' last match.
Yeah, because I don't know if I don't think Thieves plays Mercado, but they basically
no, they definitely do not.
Yeah,
play
they
Mercado.
don't. That's what I'm saying. They were eliminating them on maps that like some of these teams that they don't really play anymore. They haven't played as much anymore. Because like going into the tournament, you thought that Seattle would play like they would play Hotel. They found some success there. You thought they'd play a CeeLo. They've had some success there with Pred going off. And we like didn't even see those maps. We just saw Mercado and Fortress. It was weird.
And then we hop into the last and final series of the day. I see a few people asking in the chat already about FaZe. Is FaZe going to make a change? Definitely want to get there. Let's just talk about the series first at hand. Listen, Paco's the hard carry. Paco went crazy this series. He went absolutely insane. I mean, we've seen this guy. Paco's one of those players, bro. Like if Paco's not on New York, bro, I don't know if this team looks anywhere near as scary without Paco.
He's a superstar,
and that's why he's the MVP, bro. That's why
he deserved it. He deserved the MVP.
If Paco had gone, I forget what the rumor was. If Paco was going to go to Optic, who is New York going to get? I don't remember. They were talking to.
I have no idea. I have no idea who they were talking to.
For someone, anyone.
Who?
I don't pray for someone. Anyone.
Right.
Yeah. But you can see the maps. It was FaZe who started off hot against New York. They were able to take them down, but it was the New York Subliners that win the next 3. FaZe, they fell short in the S&D. Their control remains terrible, to be honest. Their control has just not been good. Going into the control against the top team, I didn't see FaZe winning that, to be honest. And then we went into the NBC hardpoint, which in my opinion, this is where FaZe had to try and bring this to a last map. But New York came out strong, man. They came out hot. I think one thing with New York is when P-Dog's playing well, when Sky's is playing well, like when the ARs are on point, they're deadly, man. They're really good.
I think this team just has a lot of teamwork, and obviously it kind of just all revolves around Paco. I think what they do is they see like the positions that Paco's able to get in, and then they just kind of like work around him. They essentially just cover all his blind spots and let him kind of do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah.
Because whenever he gets going, dude, he literally gets lost, does whatever he wants. But also the thing that you gotta tip about him is whenever you go to those listen-ins now, he's commanding.
He's a leader.
He's literally their leader a lot of the time, where he's communicating all the influence, all the stuff that he's doing, and what his team needs to do to basically ensure his success.
Yeah,
which is fucking nuts.
That's
to do.
impressive.
It's so hard
bro.
to do as a sub. Guy didn't even speak English as his native language. Like,
I mean,
bro, as a sub to micromanage so many little things, especially when you're in the mix, is difficult, bro. It's not easy.
I want to tip that, like, we've talked about this for a number of years now. Like, he came over, like, he had to learn English, and he had to learn English while playing professional COD and grinding that for hours and hours on day. I mean, this guy's putting in double-digit hours a day trying to get better at both the language and the game, and it's worked out well that they were able to make it to the grand finals here. I want to give Kids his flowers. He played insane in this series. I think it was a huge problem for FaZe. He was always flanking. I think Caesar had his moments, And I think we want to talk about on the FaZe side, like
Yeah, we'll talk
thoughts?
about it. I just want to say for New York, and Scott said in the interview too, but I feel like that their biggest problem sometimes, like their ARs when they're not playing well, is they're just too cracked. They got to relax a little bit. Sometimes they're trying to do too much.
Yeah.
With an AR, you just want to hold your lanes, pick your spots, and hit your shots, you know? And sometimes I feel
That's
like,
a good line.
I don't even know. I'm like a fucking poet, you know what I'm saying? He's late, but I feel like that was definitely a problem. P-Dog seemed like he had the sprints. Same with Skies. The first time they played Toronto.
Yeah.
So I think going into the final, I think they just need to take a deep breath, relax, and they'll be all right. Just make sure they're playing the game the right way. Remember what they practiced. Don't get caught up in a moment where you let the energy get to
Something to be
you.
excited for, aside from this winter finals today, every time Toronto and New York match up, it always goes the distance, and we got a best of 9 tomorrow. So.
Mhm.
Yeah, it could
Could
be
be
a
a
banger
long, good
series.
series.
Outside of the 3-0 they just
Yeah,
did
I'm
today.
really curious what FaZe is going to do in this offseason because I don't think they had a bad season.
I don't think
They
they do
didn't have
anything.
I don't
They
think
didn't have.
anything.
It's like
You don't think so? You don't think they'll
you
change?
sh-
I'll
you-
tell you why when Ben finishes the statement.
I think their biggest issue and why they haven't, well, outside the Alex stuff from last year, they just cannot get Simp and Ibiza to go both at the same time at these events. And the one event they did at Boston, they won. This event, I don't think Simp had a great event, probably his worst champs ever. And Tyler had a kind of a tough series against New York. I think you can make the argument of like, if Bruce is not leaving Optic, you can't get like scrappy. I don't think like Sam's an upgrade for Austin in the ways it's a side move. Like I think sticking might be where they land.
I think after their last 2 years, I don't think these guys should make a change. They need to realize that, well, first off, top 3 at like every tournament, winning a major. Look at that in comparison to every other team. Obviously, with Toronto and New York, they'll be either a team that has 3 wins or a team that has 2, right? But having one major win, when you look at the rest of the teams, is not anything like to be mad about. On top of that, you probably have one of the best, if not the best, average placing still. I think we're in a league, and especially also with the game and the way it's designed, where you're not just going to get these dominant things where you're going to win every single championship. And I think these guys probably already have came to that realization. I'm not saying they shouldn't strive for that, but like be realistic with yourself. You swapped out Slasher you swapped out Arcitys for Slasher, and you essentially achieved the same damn results that you did the last year. Maybe the fourth isn't the problem. It's your core. And I'm not saying that you get rid of it, but I'm saying like as a team, you need to come to that realization and just go into next year and keep fighting, keep
the
improving.
only way this team makes a change, and I'll lead this with I don't think they're going to make a change, is if they can pick up a sub and Simp switches to a flex. That's the only way they make. They're not changing AR for AR.
I don't think
that's also
they're
another
not
good
grabbing another AR. It's
the
not
only
happening.
the only like ARs that would
No,
theoretically make their team better.
There's none. It's not even worth doing Sam for Austin. Not even worth
I
it.
think Bruce is maybe the only other person to think about
absolutely
it.
not.
No.
Absolutely not.
But
Because that doesn't make you worse at search. That's the thing. You pick up
I
Sam.
would argue they
I
might
love
get
Sam,
worse
but
with
like
Bruce.
Sam's not a better S&D player than Austin.
What
you know?
about MC to a main? MC to a main
Well,
AR?
that's how you
Yeah,
pick
that-
up fucking like
I mean,
scrap,
honestly,
but that's not a doable
that's
move.
not happening.
I've always
I
hated
think-
this
I think
conversation,
they're
Tom.
fine.
Why?
This to a main, this to like a flex.
There's no fucking main in this
essentially
game.
the same shit, bro.
Yeah.
A main.
No, the only
you're
one
just
would
your
change would be
ARs
Simp.
and your subs, and on a couple hills,
I disagree.
And-
on a couple hills, maybe a map.
I think
you run a
between
third
a main and a
whatever.
flex, is you play different, right?
It's not a flex or
Nah,
main.
not
like
necessarily in this game.
Insight with an AR, right? Like he'll just like hold down spawns, like
he's
hold
his
down
own role, bro. He's his
OEs,
own
like
role.
like that's a main AR.
It
like
depends on the team, and I think though Chris, like it depends on the team, but Chris, I think the thing that teams have to be careful about is you don't know for a 100% fact the next year is 2 subs, 2 ARs, and maybe you
yeah,
pull out
that's
33
true
sub
too. You
on
never
3
know what it
hills.
is.
So like
it'd
if
be the
you,
exact same thing.
I will say you move MC to a
Most
main,
likely.
MC can run a sub plenty good. That's not really the issue here. I just don't see like what they would drop Austin for Draza, like they can't get scrapped.
Hell
Like
no.
there's
I'm
what
saying,
players can get.
like-
Dante doesn't really.
Hell no.
It's a side
I'm
move.
saying
Like,
like
I don't really
Austin
think they have a
for
good move.
Pred and Simp run the second AR.
That
That's
is
what I would
the
say.
only thing
That's the only thing I
that
see.
you
But they get
might.
Ant to leave, but Ant's not going to leave Optics. So
That
there
is
you go.
the only
Huh?
thing that you might
They
argue.
wouldn't want Ant. Bro, listen, man. This team is sticking together, but the only change they make is if they get Pred for Austin and Simp runs a second AR.
That's
Well,
the
nobody
only
wants
argument.
Fred. So we'll
Let's
say
be
that
honest.
guy-
They're not
you
going
can
to change the trio. Simp, Abe, and Cell, and Slasher definitely showed out, bro.
Listen,
Yeah,
like
there's
Slasher
no
played
AR
great.
better than Austin.
I will say-
Austin's been playing
Yeah,
good.
it's all
The
about
big
no
winner
AR better
today,
right now.
obviously, shout out to Toronto and New York. I will say that Pred, this actually ended up being, he probably wanted to win this event, no shit, but like as far as teams where he can go to, this actually ended up being the perfect scenario for him because all of the teams that he would have wanted to go to are not in the grand final, probably all thinking about the future. He's got a lot of leverage going forward. He's going to get a nice paycheck for himself. be able to dictate what team he goes on.
Mm-hmm. Well, we'll see. I mean, the offseason is going to be a long offseason, man. I could see a lot of teams changing, bro. And you never know, man. If somebody can get a hold of a superstar player, it could break up like a team that, you know.
And I don't think Austin would care. If Austin got dropped for Pred,
he'd just go somewhere else.
Like you know,
yeah, he would just go. And Austin's his stock is so high right now, he'd go anywhere. He could go anywhere.
Austin might go to Optic in that situation. They'd drop fucking Dan for him.
Yeah, I would do that. Yeah.
If Austin went to Optic, that'd be crazy.
Right.
That'd be fucking insane. They do need some discipline over there. They need some, like, you know, people that do, you know, in terms of, like...
I don't know, bro. I feel like Austin would hate playing with Shotzi.
No, Austin...
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I could see, like, if Austin gets dropped, I could see him getting the keys at, like, Minnesota, and then he, like, can basically pick up, like, whoever's else
I don't
there.
think Austin wants to be in this, like, rebuild scenario. Think about how many times he's done this.
He hates that. He hates that.
Yeah.
He likes playing with, like, well-known veteran, like,
But as far as culture goes, I think this team is good culture, and I think likely scenarios they stick. I just don't see any issue with it. It's just... Bro, fluky CODs, and you know they lost one grand final this year, and got third, and lost to the team that's in first, or the two teams that are in the grand finals of this event. Like the third best team.
Yeah, well, we got the grand final tomorrow. We got the New York Subliners going up against Toronto Ultra. I mean, who do you guys got? I mean, I'll kick things off. Just with the way that Toronto beat New York today, I just feel like they have that confidence, they have the momentum. Scrappy, if he wins a ring, he's going to be unbearable. This guy's never going to shut the fuck up.
He's going to come in and talk so much shit.
But he's been playing unbelievable, and he deserves it, and the whole Toronto team deserves it. I just feel like the way they beat New York today, I don't see where they would lose, but I don't know, because we might get a different New York. If New York is on point, I can see them keeping up with Toronto. But
we could get a different Toronto, too. You never know.
Yeah, you never know. You know, it's who shows up on a given day. It's a best of 9. But, Ben, who do you got? I got Toronto.
So here's the interesting thing about this matchup. These teams have played about 70,000 times this season. I'm pretty sure they played like 6 or 7 times. And every time, if I remember, like, Toronto's kind of owned them in the controls. But because with the way the best of 9 set up, the searches are actually super important in this series. I think New York might be the better search team. But my concern is that Toronto are playing like lights out and respawn right now. And I think they're going to steal at least one S&D. So I have Toronto taking it. I'm going to say 5-3. We'll go to an 8th map.
Chris, who do you think?
No way, you guys are all picking Toronto, man.
I gotta pick Toronto at this point.
This bandwagons, I've been calling.
Bro, I'm just calling how I see it, Pat.
I gotta pick
True
Toronto.
fan,
at this
okay,
point.
bro.
I've been calling it all year. I've stuck with
I think I'm just.
You called it last year, and he said it was a typo.
But hey, first event, Toronto.
He said last year was a typo.
He did call him last year.
Also, keep in mind, I predicted all correct event winners outside of Major 5, and it was FaZe.
No, but listen, Pat, it's typical. You've predicted a lot of event winners for sure. You've predicted a lot.
And this is gonna be another one.
So you got Toronto, of course.
I got Toronto Ultra. I actually think, to your point, Ben, I think Toronto's better in both hardpoint and control against New York. And I don't think New York is like an insane S&D team to the point they're going to sweep S&D.
But they did it against FaZe the last event. They won all 3 searches.
FaZe was looking horrible in S&D last event. But I'm saying, like...
They lost like one
they lost
search.
Every event, every S&D
they lost like
in the
one
final,
search
bro.
before that fucking...
Well,
keys
it's the CDL format, bro. You play 2 series.
I'll tell you right now, the
final.
keys of this series is whether Kleenex can keep up with Hydra. They shut Hydra down last time in the 3-0 that they just had. And Kleenex went nuts. If Kleenex plays okay or mid, and Hydra plays really well, I think they lose.
They still win. They still win.
Right.
I think it's going to be done in...
Scrappy is fucking godlike.
He's good. He's good as fuck. He's godlike. He's really good.
That guy's absurd, man. You got to tip this year, bro.
He's typical. I mean, he used to watch all of us play growing up, man. You know what I'm saying?
I was actually smoking him in some World War II off-season wagers in World War II.
Oh, for real? You were smoking his ass?
I was smoking him.
That's interesting. You got any of that on film?
Yeah, his stream.
Oh, bet. I'm about to go back and look at that.
And I got a lot of PayPal from him. You
nice.
Know what I
It's
mean?
We talk about how
got the receipts.
We talked about this at the end of the watch party. And my friend Ethan, who obviously broadcast lead over Esports Engine, like at the beginning of the season, he went to ChatGPT and asked like ChatGPT to like break out the champs final.
This is crazy.
And it literally predicted the 2 teams that are in the final.
But it predicted
New York winning.
Is
New York winning, so we'll see.
It predicted the winner wrong.
So AI predicted New York winning it?
And this final,
I mean, bro, the fact that it even got the grand finals right is fucking insane. That scares the fuck out of me.
That's like, dude, simulation.
I mean, bro, how does an AI know who's going to make the grand? Like, how does that even?
Because we're in a sim,
That's
bro.
crazy. That's crazy. And, bro, New York come out and win this tomorrow, that AI is a fucking glitch, bro. I'm sorry. That shit's scary, but.
About to start following that shit.
Yeah, dude. But listen, man, long day at COD. We had 5 matches today. We've been here all day. This place is completely empty now, which is crazy.
Literally completely empty.
Because we've been in the concourse here at the event, guys, and it's been fucking hectic,
like the women's
man.
bathroom.
Yeah, we're in the middle of the entrance and the exit to the women's bathroom. In the middle of the fucking concourse, we have food stands all around us. And we have one rope, and we had security
We have
guards.
2 security guards, but listen, I
They
think
did a great. The security guards did a great job today.
But we want to give a shout out to the fans, people that have been coming by,
Yeah, it's
showing
been
us
awesome meeting you
support,
guys.
giving
You
us
guys have been incredible.
subs, asking for us to sign and take photos. Like, that's the reason we come to this event. That's the reason we do this stuff is for you guys, and the support that you guys have shown us
Yep.
all season. I know we have one more day left. Has been insane at this event as well.
Yeah, no, we love interacting with you guys, and that was one of the main reasons we liked being here. So just, being able to talk to some of you guys and meet a lot of you guys. A lot of you guys, I recognize your names, man. You guys come up to me and tell me your Twitch name and stuff, and tell me you guys have been watching the shows and stuff, and obviously all the streams. So it's just really nice to meet a lot of you guys, man, and just meet you guys face to face, shake some people's hands, and take some pictures, man. It's been awesome, bro. So just thank you guys all so much for all the energy, man. You guys have been incredible. Both also in the chat, man. You guys have been incredible all day long. Over on the YouTube comment side of things, everybody at YouTube, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. If you're watching on YouTube, anchor.fm/theflank to check out audio says we're on. Go follow at the Flank on Twitter. Gert's doing a phenomenal job running socials. Guys, we are super close to 100K on the Flank Twitter, so make sure to go follow it.
Make sure to tell your cousin to follow, your family to
Yeah,
follow,
your niece, your aunt,
all your college friends
cousins,
to follow,
your
high
brother,
school friends,
sister.
middle
And
school
after your whole
friends.
family treated,
your
make
teachers.
another account and
Yeah,
follow.
Yeah,
make another
that's a good
account. How
shout
you
out there.
doing? You
Make
know
a
what I
burner,
mean?
make a burner.
Yeah, make a
Yeah.
burner. But yeah, guys, and then also check out soon. We're gonna do a new drop for the summertime. Stallions.club. We're gonna do a new drop. We're gonna add some color as well. So I'm
Okay,
excited
okay.
for it, man. I think it's gonna be really cool. So make sure to check that out. Stay tuned. But guys, we're gonna be live tomorrow with a watch party for the grand final. And then obviously we'll go live with the Flank. We'll talk about it. Whoever wins, we'll try and get them on the show if possible. We'll see how that goes.
I don't know if they'll want to come out to the women's bathroom.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to come out here, but they do end up clearing everybody out after 15 minutes. So maybe after they get some time to cool off, maybe they'll come stop by. But if they don't, they don't. We're gonna be live regardless, talking some COD. And guys, that's good. Tomorrow's gonna complete the Flank tour, man. We've been to every single event. We haven't missed any online games. I mean,
What a wild ride, man.
a wild ride, man. A wild season. We got a long off
7
season
months,
too.
right? Is that a little over 7 months?
Yeah, a little over 7 months. We've been to every single
The long
major.
tour.
Long tour, man. Long tour. But tomorrow is the day we complete it. So wouldn't be possible without all you guys supporting and showing love and all the energy that you guys bring. Especially on these long days, man. So just thank you guys so much for all the support. Love you guys, man. ZooMAFIA to the moon, and we'll catch you tomorrow, man. Take care. Brush your hair, and we'll catch you guys tomorrow. Later. Peace out. Good night. Eat now.